You did everything right, paid attention, studied, raised your hand, followed every instruction they put in front of you, and they told you repeatedly across 12 years of your life that if you worked hard and played by the rules, the world would reward you. So why does it feel like everyone else got a different rule book? You watch people no smarter than you, no harder working than you, walk into rooms and own them. They get the promotions, they get the opportunities, they ask for things and somehow just receive them. And you're sitting there doing everything you were taught to do, wondering why it isn't working. Here's what nobody told you. There are two sets of rules in this world. The ones you were taught, the curriculum, the grades, the rubric, and the ones that actually govern outcomes, the invisible architecture of influence, perception, and power that is never written down, never taught in any classroom, and almost never spoken about directly. And the system that was supposed to prepare you for life, it kept you completely blind to the second set. Not always on purpose, but the result is the same. You were trained for compliance. The world rewards power. Nobody told you the difference, and that gap, that single silent gap, has been quietly costing you ever since. Let's get into why. Sociologist Pierre Bourdieu called it social capital, the invisible network of relationships and influence that opens doors in the real world. Schools are brilliant at teaching you skills, but they are completely indifferent to social capital. Nobody teaches you how rooms actually work. Nobody tells you the conversation before the meeting is often more important than the meeting. Nobody shows you what it actually means to be legible to power. Then there's what psychologists call locus of control. People with an internal locus trust their own judgment to shape outcomes. People with an external locus wait for authority to decide. And here's the brutal truth. 12 years of being graded, evaluated, and rewarded by an institution trains you to look outward for permission. Every gold star, every report card, every "you need to do better" is the system saying, "We decide your worth." That wiring doesn't disappear when you graduate. It follows you into job interviews, into relationships, into every moment you needed to hold your ground and instead found yourself waiting for someone to say it was okay. And the third concept, the one that might actually change how you move through every room for the rest of your life, is frame control. A frame is the invisible context that gives meaning to every interaction, and whoever controls the frame controls everything. In school, the institution always held the frame, you just lived inside it. But in the real world, frame control is one of the most powerful social currencies that exists. Nobody taught you that. So, you walk into rooms and unconsciously accept whatever dynamic is already there, usually a subordinate one, without realizing you even made a choice. Now stop for a second. How many times have you had the right idea, the right answer, and said nothing? Or said it, then immediately softened it, qualified it, added sorry to the front of it, and then watched someone else say the exact same thing louder and get the credit? How many times did you wait for permission to take something that was already yours? That's not weakness. That has a clinical name. Psychologists call it learned helplessness, the deep, nervous system level belief that your effort and your outcomes have no real connection. You don't stop trying because you're lazy. You stop trying because the lesson was repeated so many times it became instinct. The people with power decide, not you. Carl Jung said everything unconscious eventually finds expression. Your unexamined conditioning isn't sitting quietly somewhere. It's active right now in how you write emails, how you enter rooms, how fast you abandon your own ideas the moment someone pushes back. Frantz Fanon described colonization not just as the occupation of land, but as the occupation of the mind, a system so thoroughly installed that eventually the person becomes their own enforcer. You don't need to have experienced political oppression for that to land, because what happens in institutions that reward compliance and punish self-direction is structurally identical. You internalize the metric. You start policing yourself. The system doesn't need to shrink you anymore. You do it automatically every day without even noticing. That is the real damage. Not that something was taken from you, but that you were slowly, gently shaped to take it from yourself. So what does this actually look like in your life right now? You're probably the most prepared person in the room, but you hesitate to speak until someone else validates the idea first. You watch less qualified people get ahead simply because they had no hesitation about promoting themselves, and you feel almost morally uncomfortable doing the same. You either defer too fast or resent too quietly, never landing in that confident, grounded space that actually makes people take you seriously. You over-explain everything. You bury your asks under so much context that the actual point gets lost. And somewhere underneath all of it, there's this nagging sense that no matter how much you achieve, you haven't quite earned the right to trust yourself yet. These are not your personality. They are survival strategies, learned in a specific environment, for specific reasons, now running on autopilot in a world where they no longer serve you. The unlearning starts with one move: witnessing instead of attacking. Most self-improvement is just the old conditioning in new packaging. Find the flaw, discipline it out, wait for external validation. That's school with a different syllabus. Real unlearning looks like pausing when you catch yourself shrinking and asking, what does this pattern actually believe about me? And where did that belief come from? Because it has a logic. And you can't dismantle something you refuse to look at. Here is the rule they never taught you. Power is not a tactic. It is not manipulation. It is not volume or aggression or political chess. At its core, power is simply the belief that you have the right to take up space. That is it. Everything else, the confidence, the communication, the ability to hold a position under pressure, it all flows from that one thing. And that belief was never handed to you, which means you have to build it yourself, deliberately, imperfectly, starting now. That looks like inner child reparenting, giving yourself the messages the system never did. Your instincts are trustworthy. Your worth is not a grade. You are allowed to want things without justifying the wanting. It looks like shadow work, going back for the parts of yourself you buried to stay safe. Your ambition, your hunger, your desire to lead. Jung called the shadow an ally in disguise. The qualities that were disciplined out of you are often exactly what you need most now. And it looks like making the uncomfortable choice in small moments every day to speak before you feel ready, to ask before you have full permission, to walk into rooms like you belong because you do, not because someone approved it, because you decided it. Toni Morrison said, if you have some power, your job is to empower somebody else. The first person you owe that to is the version of you that was handed an incomplete education and told it was the whole thing. You were not prepared to be powerful. You were prepared to be useful to someone else's system. Productive people generate output. Powerful people build the thing generating output. You were trained to be an excellent component. Nobody told you that you could be the architect. That changes the moment you stop waiting for the curriculum that was never coming. You've seen it now. And what you can see, you can change. What you can name, you can reclaim. You were never behind. You were just working from an incomplete map. Share this with someone still following the wrong rulebook. You already know exactly who.